Alright, today we're going to talk about the things I like about the Can-Am Spyder. It had been a long time since I'd ridden a motorcycle. I rode since I was 5 until around 25 or so. Had kids and got out of it. I'd only ridden motorcycles, dirt bikes, street bikes, all that stuff. And my first purchase was a KTM 890 dual sport, and I rode it some and not a lot, and I don't know, I just didn't, I didn't ride a lot because it wasn't like enjoyable to ride to me. It wasn't comfortable. You know, I think anybody can agree when you ride a motorcycle, they're generally not, you don't ride them because they're comfortable. I mean, some are more comfortable than others, but they're not generally comfortable. And I was out in Arizona last year, and one of my friends had a Can-Am Spyder and talked about how much they loved it. So I started looking at it and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get one of those things. And he rides with his wife, all that. So I started looking around. I found one in Las Vegas, and so I bought it, flew out there, picked it up, and drove it across the country. So I've had it since October, and what do I like about it so far? The number one thing is it's fun. This thing is just a blast to ride. I look forward to riding it. It's just a lot of fun. I feel like I'm on a go-kart, or I don't know, just zipping around, and it's a lot of fun to ride. Every time I get on, I look forward to it. The second thing is it's comfortable. You know, like I mentioned, I drove across the country, and it was very, you know, for a motorcycle, it was comfortable. The seat's comfortable. It's got, I did add on these platforms. Actually, I drove it from Vegas to Zion Park, camped. I'd taken all the tools and these platforms with me, and I put those on at the campsite because they had pegs. And I was glad I did, because just the ability to move your feet around, be able to stand up, that makes it even more comfortable. But it is a comfortable ride. Literally, I can go from gas tank to gas tank on this thing. On a motorcycle, usually after an hour, hour and a half, 2 at the most, I'm like ready to get off and take a break. But I would ride this thing. It goes 250 miles in the tank of gas. I'd ride it 250 miles, or not 250, but 210, 220, and I don't run it all the way to empty, obviously, but so it's comfortable. The third thing I would say is it's easy. Is this the policeman up here? I think this guy likes to sit up here on this back road and sap people. It's just easy to ride. And you know, I've read people online saying, oh, you know, all kinds of questions about steering this, and you know, I don't know how much easier it can get, honestly. I literally drove to Las Vegas. This is not a cop, thank goodness. And that's this guy. Let's make sure nobody's here. Got a little bicycle guy. I don't know why they're out on these roads. Look, look at the shoulder. There's no shoulder, nowhere to ride, nowhere to go, and it's curvy. So you get behind, there'll be a pack in the afternoon, a bike club. Nothing against bicycle guys, but I don't understand why they get on roads like this. It's you know, it's a fairly heavily traveled road for a back road, no shoulder. I don't get it, but anyway. And again, in the afternoon there'll be a pack of them, and I mean, you cannot get around those guys till like right here. Yeah, where was I? It's easy to ride. You know, I went to Vegas, picked it up, got on the thing. They showed me a few things. It's hard to crank. Not hard to crank, but there's a few steps you got to know to crank, and I'll go over those at a later date. If you don't have them all done, then it's like a pilot checklist. It's not going to start. But outside of getting it started, it is so easy to ride. You literally just turn those bars. You know, keep in the road and turn it, and you know, you do have to shift gears up. There's no clutch, throttle, that's it. It downshifts for you. There's no front brake to worry about flipping over your handlebars. Just have one foot brake. It handles all three tires, wheels, and it stops really quick because of that. And it's a piece of cake to drive. I mean, I think you get on this thing and literally a few minutes you are ready to go. And after a couple hours, you're just zipping around on it. I mean, I've ridden motorcycles my whole life, but I mean, it's like learning to ski and then trying to snowboard, right? Maybe it's the other way around. If you could snowboard, like, oh, let me go ski, you know, it's different. I think skiing's easier than snowboarding because you do have two wheels like I got two here, but balance isn't as tough, but it's still different. I mean, it's a whole different experience, and the same thing on this. This is a way different, you know. No, I'm not leaning into turns. It's the same way doing a motorcycle. I don't have to balance, all that. That brings me to my fourth point, and that is the safety. And I'm talking about safety as in, I'm not going to drop it. I'm not going to, you know, worry about, I'll stop in gravel and put my foot down, and foot slides off my knee, I'll drop the motorcycle. I don't have to balance it. I don't have to worry about, like right here, you know, a motorcycle, I'm going to stop. I got to turn into that tunnel right there. It's kind of a tight turn. That could be a little hairy on a motorcycle, you know, slow turns. It's a piece of cake on this thing. I just press the brake, I'm stopped, thing turns green, I go. All I got to worry about is turning this throttle and pushing this shifter when I hear the engine winding up. That's it. And turning my little handlebars. It's easy to ride. Again, I see people online, and I can't get that. You know, I don't know. I think they're just being a little too, oh, what side of the road do I ride on? You know, just stay inside the lines. I don't know. It's easy to ride. That's number 4. No, sorry, safety is number 4. Oh, I got screwed up there. So you have to worry about balancing, all that. The 5th thing is it's more visible. You know, when I ride the motorcycles, I'm not exaggerating. If I go on any length of ride at all, there's almost always somebody pulling out in front of me that I know they probably did not see me, or they don't care. I don't know which. Probably didn't see me is what I guess. And so, you know, they don't see me, they pull out in front of me. So I've got to, I mean, I ride invisible on this as well. I just assume everybody's gonna pull out in front of me and nobody sees me, but they don't pull out in front of me on this thing. Motorcycle, they do. And I think it's because it's more visible. It's wider, it's white. At nighttime, half the cars passing me or flashing their lights at me. My headlight beam is normal, but there's lights on these fenders that kind of spray up. And I think those kind of go in people's eyes. They're not extremely bright, but something happens because they all flash their lights at me. So I think it's definitely more visible at night. And again, it is during the day too. The 6th thing I like is the storage on it. It has a lot more storage than, you know, a typical motorcycle. I got saddlebags, you can have that on a motorcycle. I got a trunk, have that on a motorcycle. This is a pretty deep, big trunk. But it also has the front, and that's the difference maker. The front opens up. I can put a full face helmet in there. I can put groceries in there. I can go to Lowe's and get, you know, some bug spray in a gallon jug. I can get a lot of stuff in this thing. In fact, when I bought it, I was going to camp all the way back, and I took all my camp gear, camping gear, tent, sleeping bag, all that good stuff, and I literally fit it all on the motorcycle somehow, or the Can-Am. That's how much storage it has. Now I did have to pile some of it on the seat behind me, but it has a lot of storage. What is that, number 6? So number 7, I would say, is technology. And some of this isn't that much different than, you know, especially like a Goldwing or even the newer Harleys. But it's got, I think it's got anti-skid, anti-lock brakes of some sort, some kind of anti-skid. It has, you know, the heated grips. I got a heated seat. I got a great stereo system. When I pull up to a red light, the stereo system goes down, volume goes down on it automatically. I like all that. I'm not getting the do not likes today, although I will say I don't really love the way the Bluetooth connection works, but that's for another video. But anyway, overall, I think the technology on it is excellent, and I do like that. So those are my 7 things. Oh, one other thing I was say, like the windshield goes up and down if I want to do that. A lot of people are anti-windshield. I am pro windshield. I am pro comfort. Anything that makes my comfort better, I am for. And sometimes when the rain's coming and pelting me, I like to raise the windshield up, and I can do that with one little press of the button. It's got cruise control. It's got all kinds of stuff. I don't even know what it does, what everything does on here. But that's all good. So I literally could do this as my daily commuter. The eighth thing I will say, and this is arguable because it's not as good as a motorcycle, but the cost of fuel mileage on it. It's, you know, I ride it because I save money on gas too. I like riding, it's fun, I like being out here seeing the scenery, but I also like that my truck gets, you know, 16 miles a gallon, 17 miles a gallon. This thing gets 31, 32 miles a gallon. It cost me $25 to fill this up, and I can ride for, you know, a week and a half. And my truck costs $70 to fill up, or $60, and it's weekly. It's up to 8 now, right? Did I mention this thing's fun to ride? It is so much fun to ride. I will go with number 9. It has good pickup. I don't really know what to expect on it, and I'm not a speed demon. I am riding for enjoyment and safety to live on. I'll live to see another day, but this thing does have some pickup. I will tell you that in order to max out, and people tell you they've got it up to probably 115, 120, I don't know. I've never gotten up to that kind of speed. I don't speed, but just in the chance that you do want to really get up to speed on this thing, you do not want to shift all the way to the lowest gear quickly. It's like I kind of have a habit of, as soon as I take off, I'm getting into the gears, especially if I'm trying to go fast. And in fact, I was at a spot a couple weeks ago, and I was next to a Tesla. Tesla, that was embarrassing. You're next to an electric car, and I had to like get on the interstate. So I was in this lane, he's in this lane, and I think, okay, I got to get up and go here, or either I got to go slow and duck in behind him. But I thought I'm going to just take off. So as soon as I took off, I gunned it, and he gunned it. And surprisingly, I knew the Teslas were, you know, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or something. And so I was right with him, but then all of a sudden I got to like 6th gear, and I couldn't pull away. And so I ended up being, I may have been even, I may have been just slightly ahead of him, but not, it was pretty even. And I could just tell, I was like, what is going on here? Why did that happen? So I researched it afterwards, and I'd gotten down into 6th gear, and so I lost my torque, or whatever you want to call it. And so if you do want to wind this thing out, you want to stay in the first 4 gears. Second, third, I'm gonna go too fast because there's cops everywhere, but you get the picture. And I could easily, anyway, you want to go to 4th and then stay there to get to your max speed. I'm not an expert motorcycle guy. I'm not Yami noob. I'm not Fort 9. But from my limited experience, that's what I tell you. This is not motorcycle Can-Am Spyder advice. Boy, that's some hardcore joggers there, because it is about, it's 84 now. It feels like 94, I think, is what the heat index is. It's supposed to be over 100 today. You can hear it downshifting. It's automatically doing that. The only thing I have to worry about is upshifting and throttle and brake. 3 things. And steering. 4 things. But when I take off from here, I just give it some throttle and then press this little button right here. That's it. Full throttle. Winding up. I'm too close to this car. Let him go a little bit more. And just shift. Now when you do shift, I have a habit of knocking the throttle back, because when you're on a clutch motorcycle, you pull the clutch in, back the throttle down, shift gears, let the clutch out as you give it gas again. On this thing, you can do that still, but it's not efficient. You want to just keep the throttle the same. You just press the button and it shifts smooth as silk. So do not crank back on your throttle, just keep it where it's at. And then there's a button here you can downshift if you have the desire. I hardly ever do that. If I do that, it's because I followed too close behind somebody and I'm trying to stop fast. which is, I don't think I've ever had to do that on this motorcycle. It stops really quick with 3. I'm assuming they're disc brakes. Woohoo! Love taking these corners. I've seen a lot of people that they buy a lot of mods on there. What have I done so far? I got some stuff I'll show you guys. I'm not done yet. I got some brighter lights. These don't light up, these are reflectors on the fenders. I got actually some lights for the fenders. I put the floorboards on that I mentioned already. I've got some, I did put in a charger so I can easily plug a trickle charger in, so I put in the cable to that. It's in the front, so all I do is open the front up, just plug it in, plug and play, and I don't worry about the battery being dead. Oh man, see this one thing you gotta work with motorcycles. See, my turn signal didn't switch off there? That is dangerous on a motorcycle. It's dangerous anywhere, but especially a motorcycle. You know, the other day I was riding and I'm going to a place kind of like this. As a car coming this way in the turning lane, and then he just turns right in front of me. I'm like cussing him, not really cussing him, but I was like, what is this guy doing? Am I invisible or what? And I looked down a few minutes later and my turn signal, he thought I was going to turn because I had my turn signal, and that's why he turned in front of me. So you definitely want to make sure that you're not driving around with your turn signal on. That's the pro motorcycle tip of the day. And it's kind of hard. I mean, you don't think about it, but like in this helmet, I can't see down very well. Like I have to literally make a point to look down at my dash. And again, when I'm riding a motorcycle, I try to stay vigilant, eyes up as much as possible. So I don't really like looking down any more than I have to. So it takes, you can't see it out of the corner of your eye. It's, you know, my vision's blocked by the bottom part of my face helmet. And my full face helmet. I can feel the heat today. So I had to put my sunscreen on because that sun is beaming in. There's a little Harley trike over there. Oh, that'll sound good. The Harley dealership's right on behind this Mazda dealership here is Moonshine Harley. I guess it's a pretty good one. I don't know, is any Harley dealership bad? It is funny, you know, you do get discriminated against a little bit when you're driving one of these. I've gone to one riding meeting, whatever, and you know, the head guy's this gruff old Harley guy. You know, what kind of bike do you have? Well, I got a Harley and a Can-Am. I said, oh, I usually ride a Can-Am because my wife will be riding with me. And of course he gives me some, you know, good-natured, but kind of, oh yeah, no, the whole thing's gonna be Can-Am before you know it. Everybody's got a Can-Am. What you're finding is people, unfortunate not to have the health problems yet, but a lot of guys, they get in their 70s or whatever. I'm not putting that old, but you know, their knees get out or whatever, they just can't physically ride a Harley anymore. So I believe they begrudgingly come over to the dark side, the three-wheeler, and some do what that guy did. They go with the trike. That's fine. I don't know much about them. I did read a little bit about them, and I think they are not as stable, not as comfortable. That's what I've heard anyway. But anyway, I could just tell you this thing right here is stable, comfortable, fun, and I would highly recommend it. I would not have any doubts about it. It has a little bit of a cool factor. I get a lot of waves, I get a lot of looks, maybe some disdain from Harley guys, I don't know, but it's a lot of fun, and I'd recommend it. It's cool. It doesn't have the Harley coolness, but I gotta tell you, the comfort, it far outweighs the coolness. I ride this thing 4 or 5 times more often than I do the Harley. So that's it. I'm at work, and you guys have a good day.